So in today's episode, we have this 2015 Porsche Panamera in for a paint enhancement and ceramic sealant. Guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. So it is overcast out, so you really can't see what's truly going on with this Porsche Panamera. The white paint is extremely swirly. You'll see it when we pull it into the shop. It is dirty. It drove through the rain. Most of the back end here is dirty. The rest of it, not horrible. We're going to take care of these wheels, clean them up, get them looking nice. There is a little bit of road rash and damage on them. This is a 2015, so it has some wear and tear on it. It also has some weird marks here in the front bumper that we're going to look at. I don't know if it can pick it up here. Probably not, because we don't really have good lighting here. But there's a little wear mark here. We'll show you when we pull it into the garage in the lights. We're going to wash it. We're going to decon it, and yeah, I'll probably use the iron decon on a few sections and see how much it's pulling off, because it's very gritty as well. The customer is concerned about the grittiness on the paint and the swirls. So that's what we're going to take care of on this Porsche Panamera. And let's do a giveaway in this video. I will give away a random detailing product that we have on our shelves or in our cabinets. How many times do I say the word Panamera wrong? Watch the whole video. This is a tricky one. And we're also going to be using the Oberk product. So we're going to be using the polishes and the compounds today. We're going to use the Defense Gel, which is a ceramic-based spray coating or spray sealant. And we're going to use that to protect the paint. And we're also going to be using their pads. So they have their polishing, their compounding, and their finishing pad. Now, if you're interested in these products, check out the links down below and enter code Miranda10. You'll get 10% off at Car Supply's warehouse. Now, what we're going to use today to wash it is the Koch Chemie Super Foam. Now, what I think I might do today also is use this as the pre-wash. I'm going to not even rinse the vehicle. I'm going to just simply foam the entire vehicle down with this, because this is one of the strongest, highest pH soaps that they have here in the US. And from Koch Chemie, that is. So it cleans incredibly well, and it can be used as a pre-snow foam or a pre-wash. So that's what we're going to do. You can also put this in the IK foamer and use that as the pre-wash. Now the Super Foam comes in these 5 liters, and then you can buy these caps at Car Supply's warehouse as well. It just makes dispensing so much easier. Now this stuff is very concentrated. You don't need to use a ton of it. 1 ounce for a 32-ounce bottle is plenty. So this is our pre-wash and our shampoo. So this is what we're trying to remove off the vehicle. Now, is this going to use more chemical, more water? It all depends on how you do it. So instead of pre-rinsing and maybe using, I don't know, a gallon or 2 of water, then you can simply do this and just foam it down instead. Now, is this using more chemical? Yeah, it is using more chemical, because I am going to re-foam it and wash it with the foam on the vehicle. I think that's actually more efficient than just filling up your bucket, because you can use the 1 ounce that's in here to do all of that. So is it really that big of a deal whether you do this first or rinse first? No, it's not. Do whatever is faster for you. Try them both and see which one you like best, and then go from there. Make your choice from there. Now, if we were in the full sunlight and it was extremely hot and humid out, I probably wouldn't do this. But because it's overcast, it allows me time to do this. So we can let this dwell. If you give it about 3 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes at the most, we can start on the wheels and tires as well and start cleaning those as this is all dwelling.
Wheels first?
Wheels first. It's not a rule. We don't always do it that way. I'm doing it this way just because of the reason. Now for the wheels and tires, we're going to use the Oberk wheel cleaner and their tire cleaner. This stuff here, wow, I really can't hold bottles.
Wow, I cannot handle my bottles today.
This stuff here is awesome. It works extremely fast. So I'll spray that after this has had some time to dwell, but I'm going to use the Oberk wheel cleaner. It is an iron decon as well, so you can use it on the paint. So use a little bit of this on the paint. And I can already see it starting to react a little bit in here. It's kind of hard to see with some of the foam. It'll start breaking down iron particles and dissolving them.
You see it on the rotors.
Yeah, you definitely see it on the rotors. And you can see it now when you start to like use the brushes here. You can see it start to turn, the foam is turning purple. If you want to check out some really awesome iron deconning action, then check out the card up in the corner because we did this rust overspray removal and used the Hybrid Solutions Rapid Decon, and it worked incredibly well. You will enjoy that video. Now, as far as the tire goes, I'm just going to get some of the foam off so the tire cleaner can really do its thing. Oh wow, these tires actually not that bad. You can see it starting to pull some grime. Yeah, overall the tires aren't that bad. And we can go ahead and rinse the rest of this. That cleaned really well. We're gonna have to get into these cracks and crevices with a brush. But as far as cleaning action goes, yeah, that did an excellent job. All right, now pre-cleaning is done and that soap cleans incredibly well. Whatever's left is just a thin film. So we're gonna just refoam it up and then contact wash.
I think it is gritty, but it looks like there's also iron.
Ah, okay, so we'll probably do an iron decon then. It's really not that bad on the bottoms. A Porsche Panamera. Just a paint enhancement. Yep, it's super swirly. Lots of junk. It's just never been clayed. The back has it the worst. I'm sure the top does too, because the sides are really not bad at all. Wow. Okay, go ahead. This has tons of contamination on it. It needs heavy claying, and we're going to iron decon it as well. So this has really heavy contamination on it. We are clay barring it, but it's going to need some chemical decon as well. Now you can choose to do chemical decon or mechanical, as in clay barring, either first or last. It really doesn't matter. Some may argue do the chemical first, it gets the majority off of it, and then you can clay bar after. I've done that and still had to clay bar extensively after. So what we're going to do, where'd it go? Let's use the Oberk. Now this stuff is also a wheel cleaner, so it has some other chemicals in it, but can be used on the paint. So that is definitely an option. Iron decons are designed for both wheels and paint. And this stuff does have some good lubrication to it, so you can kind of use it as a clay bar lube. Once you put this on and start letting it do its thing, then you can use the clay bar right after. Wow, I cannot handle my bottles today.
Wow, I cannot handle my bottles today.
So give it some time and see if it's going to be pulling off any iron bits. This is a little bit of a slower reacting chemical. It's thicker. It's a thicker formula. Little iron particles and bits being dissolved already. Once you start seeing things dissolved, you can use your clay bar. Now, will this break down the clay bar? It might, but that's okay. Usually when you're doing a vehicle this bad, I'm gonna chuck this clay bar after because it's done. But using this helps to agitate it, picks up those iron particles, and it ensures the paint will be nice and smooth. Oh man, it's still really bad up here. I can hear it. It's picking up some remaining stuff. Oh yeah, you can see it reacting here. Whoa, here we go. Now we see a lot of reaction back here.
Oh, wow.
And again, clay bar right over it, pick up all those contaminants. To get into these little cracks and crevices, you can grab a brush and some all-purpose cleaner or degreaser and get into those cracks and crevices really well. And yeah, this spoiler does pop up, but for now, I'm just doing this with the brush. So the Panamera is now cleaned, it's dried, blow dried all the crevices. We'll probably have to go back over with the smaller dryer and get all of those little cracks and crevices. Let's get the hand lights. Oh yeah, very, very swirly. You can see it, yikes. And the bumper may have been repainted badly, or it's just so faded, but there's like a little spot here that looks like the clear coat might be failing, and I can't take measurements. So I'm just gonna gently polish over it and see what happens, and then go from there. We're gonna do a couple of test spots and see how much of this we can improve. We're going for 50% plus. Nothing crazy, it's not gonna be 100%. Wow, oh, that is really bad.
You know what?
What?
I think they tried to spray something on these.
Oh, that's what it is. There's overspray on here, like clear coat overspray. Well, that's annoying. All right, well, let's dry the rest of her up, and then we'll do a test spot. Now what I'm going to do is start in the middle. I'm going to use the polishing pad with Sol. This is their new medium duty compound. So let's try this, and then we'll determine if we need to go lighter or heavier. About that much to start. I don't know yet. Let's see. Wow, not much. This is hard. This is hard clear coat. That's going to be annoying. I mean, is it at least 50%? Okay. Oh, that's definitely better. Wow, man, this stuff is hard. So this clear coat is hard. But here's what we're doing. So from that to that. It still has some defects, but wow, much better. But yeah, so this was unpolished, and this is now polished. Now, we're actually using the cut. She's using the microfiber disc with the Oberk Supreme Cut, and because it's so hard, it's not leaving micromarring behind, because this clear coat is just extremely hard. That's going to be our combo. I'm using the yellow, and it's still getting good results. Yeah, I think we can actually kind of use both of these, and they'll get the job done. But the bad thing is, I only have one of each, so I may have to switch out with the other microfiber pads from Meguiar's. But I think I'm definitely going to get some more of the yellow or Oberk. Those cutting pads from Oberk are awesome. They work extremely well. Polishing is coming along nicely, but we are having to basically do a one-step heavy compound with the microfiber disc and the Oberk cut. This clear coat is ridiculously hard, which means you can do a paint enhancement by using a microfiber cutting pad and a cutting compound. So it's just a heavy way of doing it, but with hard clear coat like this, you do the same steps, you know, the same type of polishing with that slower movement and then faster movement. You know, you can do a section pass like that and get really good results like that, see? Compared to what it was before, hazy, swirly like this. Now this is the results. You still have a little bit of light swirls in there, but that's okay because it's a paint enhancement. We're cutting down 50% and we're getting really good results. And no micromarring because of it being so hard. If you look really close, you really can't see any micromarring. You just see a little bit of those tiny little swirls left over. So the Oberk Supreme Cut works really, really well. We just had to switch over to the microfiber discs from Meguiar's because, well, we only had one of these and that's it. So I have to get some more of those. They worked really, really well. So the Porsche Panamera is coming out incredibly well, very glossy, and at least we're getting about 50% of those swirls cut out of the paint, making it look nice. We still have to work on this black gloss. We noticed that these were repainted. Look how badly they were repainted. Can't really do much about that. I'm not gonna go crazy on that. I'm just gonna do a polish. I know it's dusty. Microfiber discs, they do create some dust, and in some humidity, like we're working in, it does create dust. But I get that with pretty much any polisher compound. It just depends on the humidity levels, and today is pretty hot and humid, so it does cause that. We're not going to really go too far on these. I'm just going to lightly polish them and leave them because they were really painted badly, so I'm not going to mess with that. So polishing on the Porsche Banana is now pretty much complete. We're doing tires and wheels before we get to paint protection, just to clean up all these edges.
What did we just do?
I don't know. But it is looking super glossy. It's amazingly smooth. Perfect. Now, what we're gonna do is a panel wipe because it's white, and we're going to apply that defense gel, which is basically a ceramic type of spray coating. And I want the paint to be completely clean and free of anything that might be on there. The Oberk compounds and polishes don't have any fillers or anything in there, but because we weren't using the NSP polishes that act as a primer, I'm going to panel wipe it just to be safe. That stuff smells delicious. You might be wondering why the cap is popped off, because it keeps popping off. It slides into place, but we're gonna clean it because it does pop off like this. We're gonna clean it, and you can see signs of respraying. So yeah, we suspect that there were portions of this that were repainted, and that's why we were having some paint overspray issues. There were some of these areas that I just went over with 3000 grit sandpaper, extremely light, just passing it over, almost like I was clay barring with it, because on both sides there was just clear coat overspray, and I wanted to remove all of that. The compounding alone was not removing it, chemical was not removing it. The only thing that does is abrasion. So just 3000 grit, wet sanding, super, super gentle, but you can see it brought it back to what it looked like before. It looked like somebody went over the entire car with 3000 grit. But what we're gonna do is switch over to the little 3-inch pad. Again, oh wait, not polish. I wanna use the cut. Here we go. Just this, that much to kind of prime it at first, and we'll remove all of the hazing from the wet sanding. Now with the 5-inch pad, I was able to get into this area okay. It's not the easiest to do it, but you can maneuver the polisher and finesse it into these, these curves. But that does take a little bit of experience to be able to do that. I taped off this area, which I am going to tape it off again, because we are doing some heavy compounding, and I don't want it rubbing up against that delicate rubber. When you start to see that on vehicles, you just want to take it easy and not cause any more damage. So that's why it is good to have a 3-inch polisher. If you're getting into polishing, compounding, paint correction, you want a larger one, like a 5.5-inch polisher, and a little 3-inch like this. You can also get the little 1-inch ones, but usually you can get most of it with this guy. Now that cleared up all of the wet sanding. Now, smooth, no more overspray. Ting! Good to go. So we're gonna hit all of the door handles under them with the compound as well, and a little applicator. Make sure to clean all of those areas really, really well. And I'm just gonna hand polish this little piece right here and clean everything. So with the polishing done, we can take a look at the front bumper here, and Wifey went over this area gently and got that little area out. It's definitely like a thin area. It's probably starting to fail. So just lightly polishing it over, kind of glossed it up, made it look so much better. So the paint is looking in good shape. Again, don't look too close. There are some deep defects in here. Let's use some Geon prep. We're gonna prep it, just wipe everything down, and then we'll continue with the Oberk defense gel. Now the application of defense gel is going to be pretty straightforward and easy. The way that it says to apply it is kind of like a traditional ceramic coating. So what I'm going to do is saturate this little pad here, just like so. And I'm going to go in a small area first just to see what it does and see how it reacts. And once I get used to that, I'll probably do larger panels. So you can see it go on here. There's applied, and there's the regular paint right there. So you can see that it does that little bit of a smearing. And you can see it start to separate a little bit. So it kind of acts like, crystal serum light a little bit. It does this sweating effect. You can really see it separating like that. So once it starts to do the lines like that, that's when it's ready to wipe off. So let's take our first towel. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's extremely easy. It's just like crystal serum light. I know I shouldn't be comparing it to other coatings, but that's what I do because it's the only way to give you a comparison. It's extremely slick. I'm just going to flip the towel over and go back over it. And that's it. It is awesome. It is bussin'. Yeah. Okay. That application is ridiculously easy and it's very, very slick. Knowing that, I'm going to go with large panels. So I'll probably do this section here, then I'll do like the whole middle section, and that I'll cut the hood into thirds and then just do full panels as I'm going around because I can really fly with this coating. This stuff is very forgiving. Man, and it makes the paint look so glossy. So you can help it along by fanning it down like this, and it helps it evaporate. And this stuff is pretty much bonded already within the first couple of seconds. So you're just allowing the carrier fluids to kind of evaporate, and it'll make removal that much easier. Man, that is awesome. I'm going to grab a second towel just so that I'm not pushing any coating that might be on that first towel. I like to go circular around these edges like this and not just push up and go back. I like to do circular motions. I just feel that it helps with any residual that might be around the edges. You're kind of scooping it up and not just pushing it to an edge. That's just my method. So I'm thinking this can definitely be used outdoors because of its ease of application. I would avoid, of course, direct sunlight with any type of coating like this, even if it's a spray coating. But the application, the wipe off is so easy, I think it can definitely be done in the shade. It is looking incredible. And this is not a coating saver applicator, it's just a regular block applicator. You can use a coating saver if you so choose. If you feel that you may over apply coatings. Some people are just a little heavy-handed with them and apply a lot. And I get that. Some people, you know, they want a thick layer of it. But I mean, there's only so much that's actually going to bond to the paint anyway. So you can put this on thick, but you're just going to be wiping away most of it. Just like with a wax or a sealant, you can put it on really, really thick, and you think that you're getting this really, really good protection when in reality, it's still only leaving whatever has bonded to the paint, and the rest of it is just excess. So you don't have to over apply coatings like this. This goes for pretty much any coating. And one layer of this is enough. It can go on plastics as well, but all the plastics have already been dressed, so I'm not going to be going over them. This is just for the paint and headlights and taillights. Everything is almost done on the Porsche Panamera. So the Porsche Panamera is looking amazing. Look at this gloss. And the imperfections, oh yeah. They have been reduced by about 50+%. It is looking great. We just put on all of the glass sealant. So we used AM Rain. This stuff is super easy to apply. Just let it sit on there for, I don't know, I usually let it sit for 10-15 minutes. And then a clean towel will wipe off pretty easy. If it does give you a little bit of smearing problems, just use a glass cleaner. No issue at all. It's basically like Rain-X on steroids. It's stronger and it produces that nice sheeting and beading effect on all of your glass. Typically, you may see 3+ months on that, but it's so easy to apply. Every time you wash it, you can just apply it on there and it'll be protected all the time. So it's very, very easy to apply. Just go circular motions, get even coverage, let it dry, wipe it off, good to go. Great for mobile detailers as well. I've actually used this in a mobile setting. As far as the defense gel, very impressed with this. Application is extremely easy. You can actually do almost one whole side of the car and then go back and start wiping off. It's so easy to apply and wipe off. Very impressed. And that's how much I used. So imagine how many vehicles you can get with this one bottle. Can you use it outdoors? You probably could, not in direct sun, in shade, but you'll realize that in heat and humidity, it's going to flash quicker. So you may not be able to do large portions, but it'll be like a wipe on, wipe off situation. So again, still pretty easy. I feel, you know, now that we have a shop environment here, it's controlled. I think we just get better results, but it is possible doing it in a mobile setting. So as we take a quick look around, look how nice the paint looks now. It's not perfect, don't look too close. It's not that heavy, heavy swirling that we saw before. Oh yeah, much better. Top surfaces, oh yeah, much better. Wheels are looking nice and clean. Of course, they have some damage on them, but despite that, looking great. So as far as the Oberk polishes and the compounds, very impressed. Little to no dust at all, especially with the cutting. With the medium and fine polish, no dust at all, but sometimes that does depend on your pads and humidity. I have found even the best polishes and compounds will sometimes dust a little bit, but that's just because of ambient temperatures and the vehicle that you're working on. So you can never have a 100% dust-free compound or polish, especially if you're working mobile. In a controlled environment like here, yes, but even still sometimes because of the heat of the lights, it heats up the panel just a little bit, and sometimes we get a little bit of dust. But that's something that a detailer has to work with. So the Porsche Panamera is done, looking beautiful. Any of the overspray that we did see on it is now removed. This thing just looks so nice, and it feels nice too. The customer was a little concerned because when he felt the paint, it was so gritty. It had overspray, it had grit on there, it had iron particles, and he was concerned that he may have to get it repainted. No, no, no. We saved him big time on this. This thing looks gorgeous. Now, true, there's some areas that could use some repainting, but for 2015, it only has 59,000 miles on it. Not bad at all, right? Yeah. So we saved this thing, and he's gonna love it. So guys, if you're interested in any of those products, remember I have the link down below. Enter code Miranda10 for 10% off at Car Supplies Warehouse. And check out the full range of detailing products on there and tools. There's all sorts of stuff on there for mobile guys as well as shop owners. If you're enjoying the videos, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week.